local, late-breaking. This is WDSU News at 6.
The St. Augustine Band paying tribute to a fallen officer. Marcus McNeil used to be a member of the band during his days in high school. Officer McNeil was killed last week after a struggle with a suspect. Today, his life is being remembered. Good evening. I'm Salah Kim.
And I'm Sean Kreisman. WDSU's Tammy Eswick is live in New Orleans East, where the McNeil's family and officers have gathered for tonight's vigil. Tammy.
Children are here, and certainly our hearts.
Yeah, guys, we're here at the 7th District Police Station, NOPD headquarters here, right off of Dwyer Road. Right now, Police Chief Michael Harrison is speaking. We want to listen in for a second. Now, this vigil dedicated to 29-year-old Marcus McNeil, who was gunned down while on duty just last Friday.
On behalf of every member of this police department, I want to thank all of you for your condolences, for your thoughts, your prayers. I know every time you're not able to get those messages directly to the family, but they feel your prayers. And it's with those prayers, it's with those words of comfort that's going to get them through this, but it's what's going to get us through this, because we're all one family. They didn't just lose a son and a husband, but they gained an entire police family. They gained an entire community, and they are now a part of our family forever. And so on behalf of every person,
once again, that was Police Chief Michael Harrison speaking. We're right at the 7th District Police Station right here, NOPD headquarters in New Orleans East, right off of Dwyer Road. We'll have more coming up on WDSU News.
It means a lot.
All right, Tammy, thank you so much for that. And there is a fund open for Officer McNeil and his family. It is called the Marcus McNeil Benefit Fund. If you'd like to donate to the fund, you can visit any Whitney Bank branch. And McNeil's accused killer, Darren Bridges, faces a first-degree murder charge in McNeil's death. He also faces drug possession charges, aggravated flight from an officer, and charges for being a felon with a gun. According to an arrest warrant, video shows that Bridges pulled out a firearm during a struggle with Officer McNeil. The warrant says McNeil used his taser. Police say Bridges was shot several times after trying to run. His next court date is set for February 10th.
More than 2 years after Officer Daryl Holloway was shot and killed, the trial for his alleged killer is finally getting ready to begin. But today's jury selection in Travis Boyes' trial halted after an incident involving feces forcing the judge to put a stop to today's proceedings. WDSU's Travers Mackle has been in court all day. He joins us now live from criminal court with the latest. Travers.
Hey there, Sean. A wild incident inside this courthouse today that prompted the judge to temporarily halt jury selection, and it left lawyers on both sides saying they've never seen anything like this before. Inside this building, a disgusting disturbance by defendant and accused cop killer Travis Boyes that left lawyers for slain NOPD officer Daryl Holloway stunned.
We've seen it all, I thought, in 28 years. You know, they pull the fire alarms, they do all kind of things at their trial. This is about as crazy as it gets.
Jury selection started Wednesday morning, but the judge abruptly halted the selection process after Boyes went to the bathroom during a break, brought a piece of feces back into the courtroom wrapped in a napkin, and then, during the jury selection process, rubbed the feces on his face and put it in his mouth. Boyes' lawyers have been angling for a not guilty by reason of insanity plea.
We don't have any comment. I think the situation speaks for itself.
The Holloway family lawyer says it's a stunt and shows Boyes knows exactly what he's doing.
It shows that he's really not insane. Maybe he's proven the point that maybe he is smart enough to stand trial.
2 years since he was taken into police custody, accused of shooting and killing well-known and well-liked NOPD officer Daryl Holloway, Travis Boyes' murder trial will soon begin at criminal court. Jury selection started Wednesday. Boyes is charged with first-degree murder. The DA's office says it will not seek the death penalty, instead, life in prison. Prosecutors say the evidence in this case is overwhelming, and legal analyst Robert Jenkins agrees.
At this point, they got an uphill battle to defense.
Prosecutors say Boyes shot and killed Holloway in June of 2015 as Holloway was transporting Boyes to jail. Boyes had just been arrested for a domestic incident. But the officer on the scene did not properly pat down Boyce, and he was able to conceal a gun on himself. Holloway was unaware of that when he picked Boyce up, and minutes into the ride, Boyce is accused of opening fire on Holloway from the backseat of the police cruiser, shooting and killing the officer. Boyce is then accused of fleeing and hiding out for a day before he was picked up. Boyce's arrest, the shooting, and subsequent manhunt were all captured on video and officers' body cameras.
Marcus was...
And we should point out, after today's incident, the judge has ordered a competency hearing at 8:30 a.m. If she deems that Boyce is competent, she'll return to jury selection. For now, we're live at criminal court. I'm Travers Mackle, WDSU News.
Travers, thank you. Officer Wardell Johnson was the officer who was initially on scene when Boyce was arrested in June 2015. He has pleaded guilty to malfeasance in office and obstruction of justice. The NOPD and prosecutors say Johnson did not properly pat down Boyce before he was handed over to Officer Holloway. Johnson was also accused of trying to conceal evidence from the scene. He faces 40 years in prison on 2 charges, but the judge in his case says she does not plan to sentence him until after a decision has been made in the Boyce trial.
And today, the man accused of killing a Jefferson Parish Sheriff's deputy was found competent to stand trial. Jermaine Nevo's defense team has been trying to prove that he is not competent, citing possible lead poisoning from years ago. However, doctors have testified that Nevo is mentally capable to go to trial. Detective David Michelle Jr. was shot to death while trying to conduct a pedestrian stop last summer on Manhattan Boulevard.
An Algiers father says he has pulled his 9-year-old daughter out of school after a sub gave her a class lesson on sexual education. WDSU reporter Aubrey Killian spoke with the child's father and the school. He joins us live with a story you will only see on 6. Aubrey.
That's right. Good evening, Sean. So Corey Johnson says his daughter was a 4th grader right here. This is at Alice Hart, and now plans are being made for her to be homeschooled. So take a look at this video. Now, we just spoke with Johnson, and he tells us that sex ed course happened at the beginning of this month. He says the employee is a school counselor and was subbing. Now, her father says during the talk, the boys and girls were not put into separate rooms. Johnson says the sub explained that the 4th graders' bodies are going to be changing and how a baby is made. The school sent out a letter saying a lesson on puberty and hygiene was taught. The letter goes on to say, though, that content that was not age appropriate was shared in response to the students' questions.
If you're going to send out a letter after this happened, why couldn't you send me a letter before this happened? When this was brought to my attention, the first thing I thought, you stole my child's innocence and you stole my rights as a parent.
So the group that runs the charter school, Inspire NOLA, did release a statement. Take a look. It reads in part, on the day in question, the counselor taught a lesson to 4th graders on personal hygiene and puberty at a level that is appropriate for students of this grade level. Now, the organization does admit the question answer portion did bring information that was not grade appropriate. And the statement goes on to say Inspire NOLA has taken the appropriate steps to address the issue with regard to the conduct of the employee. And I did ask if that employee is still with the school. I've yet to hear back. Reporting live in Algiers, I'm Aubrey Killian, WDSU News.
All right, Aubrey, thank you. Still ahead, black smoke shoots into the skies around New Orleans East this afternoon. We have the latest on this blaze up next.
And a plan to make the city safer and healthier, focused on the opioid epidemic.
And it's absolutely gorgeous right now, but your rain chances are going up. I'll let you know when.
A fire in New Orleans East is out now after plumes of black smoke filled the air earlier this afternoon. The massive fire sparked near Chef Mentor Highway near Michoud Boulevard. Firefighters at the scene say tires were on fire, and that is what helped fuel the flames. No injuries were reported, but traffic was affected and visibility was affected on the road. The cause of this fire is still under investigation.
The trial for a man accused of killing his passenger after he crashed his Lamborghini into an uptown flood wall has been postponed. Jason Adams' trial has been pushed back until December 11th, but he'll have a pre-trial conference next month. Police say Adams was driving 118 miles per hour when he crashed into a flood wall in Tchoupitoulas, killing 23-year-old Christy Lorette. Investigators also say Adams' blood alcohol content was over the legal limit at the time of the crash. Adams is charged with vehicular homicide. Next at 6, the Oak Street Po' Boy Festival put on hold until next month. Find out when it will be so you can reorganize your weekend.
And taking a look at prime time tonight, a new episode of The Blacklist starting at 7 o'clock, followed by Law and Order Special Victims Unit at 8, and then Chicago PD at 9. Then join us for WDSU News at 10, followed by The Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon.
Live, local, late breaking. This is WDSU News at 6 with Scott Walker, Sulla Kim, Chief Meteorologist Margaret Orr, and sports with Sharif Ishak.
And city leaders are keeping the growing opioid addiction crisis in the forefront by launching a new program to help curb the problem. Mayor Mitch Landrieu said last year more than 160 people died from opioids in New Orleans, a number he said was greater than the number of people killed last year by guns. Today, he talked about the many focuses of a new community-based program.
We are going to further increase access to naloxone. We're going to educate the community on overdose prevention and addiction treatment. We're going to increase options for safe medication disposal to get unwanted prescription opioids out of the hands of individuals quickly. We're going to engage pharmacies to increase opioid counseling at a time of medication dispensing, and we're going to link non-fatal overdose victims in the emergency departments directly with treatment resources.
And NOPD Superintendent Michael Harrison says police officers, firefighters, and EMS workers will all begin carrying the naloxone or naloxone drug soon, and hoping that it will help make the city safer and healthier. A court watchdog group says reforms are needed in New Orleans courtrooms when it comes to setting bails for defendants. Court Watch NOLA criticized Magistrate Judge Harry Cantrell in a report released today. The group says the judge interferes with criminal defendants' rights to counsel by limiting the time public defenders spend with new clients who are making their first court appearance. Cantrell is an elected court official who presides over the court with 4 commissioners who are appointed by 13 criminal court judges. The Court Watch NOLA report called for a review of the bail bond system, how commissioners are chosen, and constitutional violations in magistrate court.
The 11th annual Oak Street Po' Boy Festival will not go on as planned this weekend due to the threat of thunderstorms. The event had already been ready to go for the kickoff with some of the city's finest restaurants and musicians. And now those planning to attend will have to wait until November 12th. And festival organizers were predicting record attendance for the event Sunday and hope that will be the same when it happens next month. Admission will still be free for you. The festival will benefit the Son of a Saint organization. Another festival being postponed because of the bad weather, the Big T-Easy Caffeine Festival. That festival was going to get its start in Metairie on Sunday as well, but now that's going to be pushed to October 29th. The festival is a celebration of Louisiana's tea and coffee culture. The event will have hot and cold beverages, food, crafts, and authentic Dixieland jazz playing all day long for you. The festival benefits Castle Jefferson, which serves children in the judicial system. And turning now to weather here, and it's been a nice day. Things are going to change, and Chief Meteorologist Margaret Orr standing by with more.
I know. Don't you wish we had the weather we have right now for this weekend? Forget about it. It's not happening, but it really is nice outside right now. Sunset at 6:27. Look at this great twit pic I got in. It's from Bayou Mama. Isn't that pretty? I think those are Rudbeckia or Black-Eyed Susans. So it's going to be cool in the morning and then warm during the day. And as we go through time, you're going to notice that humidity is going to begin to go up. Temperatures are going to be a little warmer in the morning and in the afternoon. And I hate to say it, rain chances going up for Saturday, but it does look like Sunday is going to be the day with the highest rain chance. High pressure to the east, and remember, with high pressure, you get that clockwise flow. So we've got a bit of an east to east northeast flow now with that rain well offshore. No rain tonight. We still have dry air in place, but much of that drier air is moving off to the east. No rain forecast for tonight. It was chilly this morning in Bogalusa, 50 degrees, Gulfport 59, over at the airport the low 66, and our high temperature today 79, which is right there by the average. A little bit warmer on the North Shore, around 80 to 81 degrees. And then if you look to the west, you'll notice a little bit warmer there, and that warmer weather is what's moving our way. 76 now at the airport. East wind at about 7 miles per hour. So 73 Hammond, 74 Lakefront, Gulfport 75, Galliano 72, over in Grand Isle 74. And that's where it's a little bit breezier. So sneezing, sniffling, ragweed is still the big issue. It's moderate right now. 9 o'clock North Shore, low 60s, so a sweater, I think, a good idea if you're going to be out. South Shore, upper 60s, really nice. Go for that evening walk. So morning low temperatures, low to the mid 50s. North Shore, upper 50s. Mississippi Gulf Coast, South Shore, mid 60s. And your high temperatures tomorrow beginning to climb into the low 80s. So as we look at that forecast, an isolated shower possible tomorrow right there along the coast. Friday, very slight chance of rain. We're starting to warm up. And then look, here comes Saturday. See how we've got the rain with the potential for a few storms. So for the crew of Boo, just keep in mind you do have some rain chances. This is the global forecast model. We're looking at Saturday. Not looking pretty. All right, let's look at Sunday. And Sunday, here comes the cold front. And Sunday, this model shows that rain moving in much earlier. Here is a look at the European model showing that rain for Saturday. And then Sunday, not over us. Here comes the front. Your rain chances go up. So a little bit of a difference in the forecast models, but I can tell you, we got a decent shot at rain. Tomorrow looks great. Friday, slight chance. Saturday, I've got it going up. And then Sunday, I've got a high chance of rain. It's a 70% chance. And again, I wish we could have what we have today, this weekend, but it's not happening.
How cool is that? The tall ships coming to help New Orleans celebrate its tricentennial. The 300th anniversary will coincide with NOLA Navy Week next April, and that's when these historic sailing ships will make their way to the New Orleans riverfront.
Wow, looks awesome. The ships will dock near Woldenberg Park, giving a view into the past, and will offer those interested the chance to learn more about how they are relevant today.
It's an opportunity for them to sort of look over the horizon, to see opportunities that exist for them even today in maritime industry, very gainful careers to be had for young people to go to sea and earn a good living at sea, but also an opportunity to look backwards over the horizon at our history, where we came from, and what made New Orleans such a great international port that it is today.
And so the ships on the lineup right now are the Alyssa from Galveston, the Oosterschelde from the Netherlands, and Oliver Hazard Perry from Rhode Island, plus many more. There will be a Tall Ships Challenge series, which will be a race to the Gulf of Mexico. Looks amazing.
Oosterschelde, huh?
Oosterschelde.
All right, very cool. Next in sports, the Pels get ready to tip off their season tonight in Memphis. Why Alvin Gentry feels this season will be better than the previous two. We'll be right back.
The Pelicans will tip off their season right where they ended their preseason, and that's just off Beale Street inside the Grindhouse. And oh, by the way, that finale was just ugly as the Grizzlies punished the Pels by 41. Speaking of ugly, the Pelicans are trying to avoid an ugly 1-11 or 0-8 start like they had in the previous two seasons, which saw Alvin Gentry's squad win just 30 and 34 games. But hey, maybe the third year will be the charm for Coach Gentry, whose team will start the season with 8 of 12 away from the blender.
I like our team, and I think you'll see that when we get healthy and get everybody back, that we're a really good basketball team that is going to have an opportunity. You know, we're a little bit different than the trend of the NBA, where everybody is playing this small ball thing, and you know, everybody talks about, you know, the Golden State small ball, but the last time I checked, you know, one of the guys is a 7-foot guy.
The Saints have left fans excited after winning 3 straight and getting over 500 mark, but that's not good enough for them. They want to show they can continue being consistent and prove they're real contenders in the NFC. And they have a chance to prove that point even more in Lambeau against the Aaron Rodgers-less Packers. But the way Cam Jordan has been playing, I'm sure he would have welcomed the challenge after that lights-out showing against the Lions, which earned him NFC Defensive Player of the Week. He had a pick 6, 2 sacks, and 3 passes defense to become the first player to earn that honor since Junior Galette in 2014. And as Fletcher Mackel tells us, Jordan and crew will have to try repeating that effort Sunday against Rodgers' backup.
Make no mistake, there is absolutely, positively no way the Green Bay Packers can replace two-time league MVP Aaron Rodgers. He's arguably the best quarterback in the NFL. But Saints defensive players tell us there are significant challenges preparing for Rodgers' backup. Former UCLA standout Brett Hundley.
You know, the more you have to watch, the more chance you have to figure a guy out. So, you know, we're going off minimal film, you know, things you did in college, different things like that.
Is it almost hard to prepare for a guy when you don't have a lot of tape on him?
Yeah, but at the same time, I'd rather do that than prepare for Superman. So, but nah, it is. We got some go-back tape. He played a lot of preseason snaps, and he played a lot in this last game, to be honest. I mean, more than usually what you get from a guy coming in to replace a starter.
I remember playing up there, maybe 2 preseasons ago and seeing Brett Hundley, you know, throw a bunch of touchdowns and run all over the place. So I think our guys know what those guys are capable of.
While the Saints won't be underestimating Brett Hundley, who's making his first career NFL start, the Las Vegas odds makers, they don't have a lot of confidence in the former UCLA Bruin. Currently, the Saints are favored by 3.5 points on the road in Green Bay. Reporting in Metairie, I'm Fletcher Mackel, WDSU News.
Only 2 Saints on the injury report, both Snead and Armstead, who were limited. The Packers having issues in the injury department. 12 players, 4 didn't practice, and 8 others listed as limited. The United States women's national team is in the Big Easy for a friendly tomorrow night in the Dome against South Korea. It's the 3rd trip to NOLA for the women's team, playing in 2003 and again in 2015 when they played and lost to China, which was a very big one.
Abby Wambach's last game, definitely a memorable one, and the crowd showed up for sure. So it was awesome, and it's always good to be back here. You know, we love being here, and we're excited to play tomorrow night and hopefully put on a good match.
Expecting a big crowd tomorrow night. A couple years ago, over 30,000, so I'm sure they'll have that big of a crowd again.
I hope the weather's going to hold up for these guys.
Fingers crossed. I think it'll be okay, yeah.
It's going to be perfect in the Dome either way. Have a good night.